dreams, who made me feel that wishes could come true.
I know somewhere in the darkness there's a story meant for me, where I always know exactly what to say.
Hi, my name is Ada Gray, and today I'm going to be talking with Grace Etzkorn and Ben Love, who represented Illinois in the National High School Musical Theater Awards. So I have a few questions for you guys, and my first one is, what is your favorite musical that you have performed in?
I think my favorite show is The Story of My Life. It's a two-man, one-act musical that my school did, and it was the first chance I had to really connect with other people on stage, I think, because there's only two of us, and we carried the show on our backs, and it was just such a rewarding process to put it together.
I think my favorite musical I've ever been in is probably The Sound of Music, just because, obviously, it's The Sound of Music, and I grew up watching it, and it's one of my favorite movies, and to get to be in a show that you've grown up watching and idolizing, and one of those things that got you into theater in the first place is really incredible, and I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. So, is there a musical that you would like to perform in that you haven't performed in yet?
I think I would most like to perform in this musical Spring Awakening, because just the music against the setting is so, it just lets the characters really speak emotions that they aren't able to with the time period that it's set in, and it just, from the shows that I've seen, the cast, it just seems bond so much, and it's just an experience that I think I would like to have.
I'd say the show I want to be in is a show that hasn't been written yet. So, a new musical is probably my goal. I would love to be in a show where you get to build it from the ground up, so you can completely make with it what you want of it. So I think that's definitely a show I'd want to be in, is one that hasn't been written yet.
Cool. So, how did you get into musical theater?
At first, I didn't really want to do musical theater. I was super sports, and I played soccer and all this stuff, and my parents would always I have a twin sister, they'd always taken my sister and I to go see shows and everything, and our high school in my town was doing The King and I, and my sister was like, I'm gonna audition, and I was like, oh, have fun, I'm gonna go kick around a soccer ball, and somehow she convinced me to audition, and I was 6, and just been doing it ever since.
Cool.
I saw the American Girl show here in Chicago when I was 6 years old, and it was my mom's flower girl was in the show, and I remember watching the show and absolutely falling in love with it. I don't think I blinked the entire time because I wanted to take everything in. And after we were done, I turned to my mom while we were waiting for all the girls to come out, and I was like, this is what I want to do one day. And she was like, okay, you're crazy. But that was definitely the moment. It was the first kind of professional show I had ever seen, and it was girls just like me, and I had American Girl dolls, and I loved it, and it was just one of those moments where, I caught the bug, and I was like, this is what I have to do.
So, if you had to get a day job, what would it be?
Oh no.
How to get a day job?
I think anything in the industry, really, just even working in an office like this, doing marketing, anything just to stay close with what we love so much. It just, something like this, you'd see all sides of the business, and really as great as performing is, it's not always reliable, so I mean that is a really valid question, but just anything that keeps me intact with the theater industry, I think.
I'd have to agree with Ben. I mean, once you get involved in theater and once you fall in love with it, it's so hard to do anything else. And while there are so many things I love to do that aren't related to theater, I don't think I could ever hold a job in it. So I think that I definitely would have to find something where I could continue to be artistic and continue to feel like I'm making something that's worthwhile and contributing to the artistic world.
So, what was it like going to New York for the National High School Musical Theater Awards? So what was that like?
It was
so
incredible. It's I know Grace has said the same thing before, but it's been something that's always been such a dream, and you look up to the past Illinois High School Musical Theater Award winners, and you're like, wow, that's what I want to do one day. And it was a big check off the old high school bucket list, and it was beyond words. You dream and you think so often what would it like to be on Broadway, and then one day you're there. It's 2 people perform it, and it was crazy. Beyond words.
Yeah, I remember you do these medleys and you have your solo in them, and I remember walking up center stage for my solo and the spotlight comes on you, and I had that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on Broadway, and like my eyes just kind of welled with tears a little bit, and it was like every dream, like every movie you've ever watched on Broadway, every YouTube video you've ever watched, like this is that moment, and it made it a dream come true, it just in that second.
How has your taste in musical theater changed since you were like 10?
Oh geez. I think the most exciting thing for me is discovering like obscure musicals or little like independent shows that aren't so like big name. And when I was 10, I was super like Wicked, Phantom, like all the great musicals, which are like awesome. But I think what's exciting now is finding your own little taste in musicals that you like, and kind of straying off the beaten path of contemporary musical theater and finding something that really speaks to you. And it may not be the most well known, but it like holds a special place in your heart. I just love finding little new musicals. Yeah.
When I was 10, I still love, I'm still 10. I love Disney musicals. Like everything Disney all the time was all I ever wanted to listen to. And like Ben said, as I've grown up, I've been able to appreciate shows that maybe aren't as big named as Disney, and I've been able to listen to different songs that are outside of genres that I would usually listen to. I mean, on Broadway this season we have Hamilton coming up with a rap musical, which is something that I wouldn't normally listen to, and I've started to gain more appreciation for different types of musicals that aren't just your Disney musicals and aren't just your classic, Rodgers and Hammerstein. And I think that growing up, I've been able to just appreciate different kinds of musicals that aren't as mainstream, kind of like what Ben said.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you want to read my reviews, go to 8thgrade.blogspot.com. Thanks!